Thomas puffed into Farquhar with Annie and Clarabelle, but he wasn't feeling cheerful. Instead, he felt bored and overworked. At the station, Bertie was waiting for him. "What's wrong, Thomas?" he asked. "It's another boring day. Nothing exciting happens here," Thomas replied. "But Thomas," said Annie, "you said your branch line is the most important part of the whole railway." "Yes, all the passengers agree," added Clarabelle. "I know that's true," said Thomas, "but I would rather do something fun than do work every day." As he arrived at Knapford Station, he saw James and Emily. "Hello, Thomas. Are you having a good day?" asked Emily. "A rather boring one if you can't tell," Thomas replied. "Maybe have a race with Bertie," suggested James. "Races are exciting." "I could, but Bertie is faster than me, and I would like a surprise." "What kind of surprise?" But Thomas had already puffed away to finish his last train. "Cheer up, Thomas," said his driver. "If you're bored, then how about we go to the fishing village? You won't be bored by a fishy smell, won't you?" Thomas was speechless. "Fish? Absolutely not!" "I'm only joking," said the driver. "But we do have the same routine tomorrow. I think a good night's rest will do you good." And the driver went off to bed. Thomas still wore the same frown on his face until he went to sleep. The next morning, Sir Topham Hatt came to the sheds. "Thomas, I need you to bring some coal to Vicarstown Yards," he said. "A railway can't run without coal." "I'll get on it right away, sir," Thomas said reluctantly. At the coal mines, the freight cars were still up to their naughty tricks. "Look at Thomas, he's so tired. Get more parts and he'll be wired." "Shut up!" The freight cars continued to giggle and make rude jokes about Thomas, but he paid no attention. When they came to Gordon's Hill, the freight cars were still joking. "Hold back! Hold back!" they cried. But Thomas still said nothing. But then, with one sudden pull, the coupling snapped. "Oh no!" cried Thomas. The runaway cars roared past the signal box, and the signalman telephoned the other stations about the runaway. As Thomas raced after the freight cars, an idea flew into his funnel. "If I get ahead of the cars and get on their line, I might be able to stop them," he said to himself, and he puffed harder than he had ever had before. At last, Thomas had caught the freight cars and he applied his brakes. Henry was at Crosby Station and was on the same line as Thomas. Any minute there could be a crash. Thomas braked harder and harder. The runaway had stopped at last, and everyone was relieved. Thomas backed onto the freight cars with a bump. They knew that this was no time for any more tricks. As Thomas arrived at Vickerstown, James was waiting for him along with Sir Topham Hatt. "I'm sorry I'm late, sir," said Thomas. "Never mind, Thomas," replied Sir Topham Hatt. "I'm proud of you for stopping the runaway. You are a really useful hero." "I told you you should have a race," chuckled James. "I sure did, James," said Thomas, "but I would rather head back to my branch line. After all, I did realize that there is excitement from it."